Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation. All right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. And I really feel like we haven't done a Talk That Talk in a while. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I could be right. With that being said, though, Quan is here somewhere. There he is.
I'm here, Doc. What's good, people?
What up? So a couple of things, man. First of all, shout out to all the new subscribers that we have. A lot of y'all ain't even seen the show, and it's all good. This is kind of the show that spearheaded the Passion Is Network, and it's been going great. And we have definitely some uncomfortable conversations, and one of the conversations that we're going to have tonight is going to be extremely, well, maybe extremely, or maybe not. We don't know. It may be uncomfortable for some. All right. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. I had to look at the message real quick. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. Before we do that, man, Quan, you good? We straight? How you been? How's the whole band world going
on? I'm excited because, of course, this is the pivot of the year. You know, marching band will be slightly over. We're starting to transition into that winter concert, springtime symphonic band portion. Of course, if you're in the state of Texas, UIL solo and ensemble, region band, all city, that vibe is going on. So I'm excited about that. But of course, we do have a small snippet of a parade season, but I'm looking forward to concert season. Programming my music right now for my kids, and I'm just excited, bro.
Man, that's definitely good to hear, man. I'm glad to hear it. All right, let's go ahead and actually jump into the conversation. Somebody else is going to be joining us. They getting themselves together, and it's all good. It takes time, when you're a working person and you got a lot going on, it takes a little while to get in. It's all good. But we are going to talk about this today. So some things have been going on in some band rooms and things of that nature. And honestly, things have been going on in education as it is. And actually, I wanted to have a conversation about it, mainly because of the fact that for a long time, I feel like this conversation needs to be had in the sense of who's responsible. So let me give you some backstory, and then I'll go ahead and get into it. So if you all do not know, there is a video out right now that took place in Southern University's band room. Now, I have the video, but I am not going to play the video. Here's the reason why. For many people out there who think that I am just one of those people who does not like the culture for whatever god-awful reason that people feel that way, the truth of the matter is I actually love what we do and I love the culture. With that being said, I have not seen this video spread across major areas and major networks. Because of that reason, I'm not going to play that video because 9 times out of 10, a lot of people don't know about it. And so because of that, I'm not going to play the video. But what I will do is I will talk about the video. And the video starts running right at the beginning of the video. It is a director basically telling a student to get the F out of the band room, walking over to the student, and I think he threw the stand, pushed the stand out of the way. I think that's what happened. Nonetheless, I've had a lot of conversations with people about this particular video. And so today I actually want to get into it. There's a TSU video. I don't know nothing about that one. That's new to me. Anyway, but I do want to have a conversation about this video because a lot of things happen in education as band directors, not even just band directors, just, classroom teachers. We've seen a lot of things that have happened between teacher and student in classrooms. I am well aware of people who have had situations. And so I want to actually have this conversation today surrounding that particular situation. So first things first, right out of the starting gate, I'm going to ask the question. We're going to dialogue about it. We're going to go back and forth about it. And then if you guys have some things to say in the comment section, man, go ahead and say it. Say whatever you need to say. And also, I'm going to also put the link in the chat later on. So that way, if you want to come in and talk your talk with us, you can absolutely do so. So with that being said, here we go. Here's the first question. The first question is it disingenuous that the videos, or most videos, of teachers doing these, I guess you want to say, disrespectful things, is it disingenuous in the fact that the video starts rolling right at the point of the infraction?
I guess I'll answer it because it's just me. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think, is it disingenuous? It is, but what kid, even thinking back when we were children, what kid is going to convict himself? So we have to look at it like that. Number two, for all those that are educators and in the field, we know a child will never incriminate themselves. They're only going to tell the sides that benefits or deems them worthy of that said behavior and justify it according to the masses. The problem is, when I saw the video, I saw the full video. And according to what I saw from the full video, the student was being disrespectful to the band director, and he got reprimanded. He told, go on, get out. Now, from the video, the director never put his hands on him, uh, so forth and so on. But what's really lame to me, and I'm gonna speak on this real talk, and this what I feel like bands are lacking. Back when I was marching, bro, you had a set of goons that was in a band, to where if that band director said something, and anybody that was going against that band director, we would put hands on them. And I think we lack, first of all, we lack a sense of sanctity inside of our band hall. We used to treat the band hall like it was a sanctuary almost. No chewing gum in it. No cursing. Take your hat off. No other band shirts allowed inside the band hall. Um, you know, even to the point where some band halls you couldn't wear your high school shirt, because if you was a part of that college band, you was a part of the college band. You had to flip your shirt inside out. Like, we held our band hall with such high regard, to where not anyone, if you was a non-member of that program, when you walked in, they checked you at the door, almost ran your credentials. I feel like we lacking that. So, but to answer your question, is it disingenuous? Absolutely, it's disingenuous, because you don't get the full picture. And again, from when I seen the video, the student allegedly made an outburst that was disrespectful to the man on the podium. What's more disrespectful and disingenuous to me is nobody else checked him on it. Because if this was 2006, he'd have got hands put on him, camera or not.
So you said a whole mouthful, brother. But you said a lot of good stuff that I want to go back and talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is the respect for the band room. and just kind of that area of that, in that sanctity, and that place that we for the most part governed ourselves, right? So here's the question then, because respect for the band room, and to be very clear before we even go into my question, during our time, during my time, during your time, so on and so forth, the cell phone wasn't even a thing, not in the sense of what it can do now. So when it gets to when we start talking about in this day and age, do you feel like students feel like every area that they walk into with a cell phone is open season for whatever I want to do? So they feel like just because they got a cell phone, they ready to go. It doesn't matter where they're at.
Yeah, they do. I mean, let's keep it 1,000, bro. When I was in school in 2006, when I was at PV, camera phones, they started really popping around like '05, '06, so forth and so on, right? Um, we still knew better when the band director say, "Don't record nothing in the band hall." That's what he meant. It was a point when our band director said something, it was gospel. And I'm gonna just say it like this, because a lot of these kids know that there will never be a consequence. They do it. That's not just with the band hall, but that's with education. So because of that, if the teachers to a degree are scared of the students, the administrators are scared of the parents, and the kids are scared of nobody, what you think expect for us to have? You got anarchy. Because if they would have caught that particular player getting, caught, if the band director was putting hands on him, everybody would have been, oh, that's outrageous. He needs to have more self-control. Well, what about the self-control for the student that did the outburst? That's getting paid to play in the band that he's directing at that moment. Where we lack accountability for bad, piss poor behavior with students and justify it and put labels on it. In my opinion, I don't want to sound like the old guy because my birthday was last Saturday, but we lack accountability for students. And what we'll do is easier to put a label on them. Many of us operate with ADHD our whole lives. That don't make it right, but we did. But we knew what was right and we knew what was wrong. When you said that you wanted to be a part of the Legion, you adjusted and adapted to the Legion. The problem is these kids, they see the culture of the band via YouTube, and then they don't want to adapt to the culture of HBCU bands in that particular program. Let me tell you this. I know we clown about the Kangs, Southern University and all, but I would have never thought out of the 36 years that God has blessed me to be on this earth that I would see a video inside the war room like this.
I agree.
We would never have saw not Southern University. We could I know Juke is out. We'll talk about that later. But let me tell you, I've never would have ever thought that we would have seen this out of Southern University.
I agree.
Had to hit it twice because I absolutely agree with that. But let me ask you this, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second. Let me play devil's advocate for a second. There is a school of thought that believes and feels like the teacher of record is the person responsible, meaning that they are supposed to be the ones that, regardless of what happens in that room, you have to make sure that you manage your anger, and you are, what's the word? I can't even think of the word right now. It's I don't know why my brain just had a complete fart. But yeah, go
De-escalate
ahead.
to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, that's your job. That is your job to be able to do that. What do you feel? Because obviously, not specifically just this particular situation, but in many situations, they obviously are not great teachers or great directors or so on and so forth because they didn't do their job. They knew what they were getting into when they took the job. They knew they were dealing with students. So if that's the case, then shouldn't they be held liable?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. They're adults. See the difference? They're adults, bro. Here's the difference, bro. When I pay you to do a task, it's a job. That's what some of these band students I fail to realize. You're on scholarship. You're on a job. You signed a contract. Dave Chappelle, I think it was a few years ago, was stressed and explaining to the masses about contracts and how he signed away his likeness and perpetuity to the universe about his name and whatever. Same thing you do for a college student. You signed your name, likeness, attitude, and practice habits to participate in whatever that said, university or band, and that you should display the following behaviors because every band program has a band book. Now that was true from Drumline. Everybody got a band book, and you should adhere to the following codes, edicts, and creeds of that band program. The band director for the full video, the first time, he said, "Go on, get out." The man looked left to right and was like, "Nah, I ain't moving." That's why he approached him. That's why you got to look at the full video. Posting half a portion of that video is no difference than the news media when a person of color is being killed. They show the one part, and then we become outraged when we see the full video. That's the problem what we going through. So these kids know how to play the system too. So at the end of the day, nah, these young adults, if they can buy cigarillos, buy liquor, you an adult, bro. You lucky I didn't put my hands on you. I'ma say it for I'm Quan gonna say it. You lucky we didn't put our hands on you because you an adult. It ain't no kid, it ain't no teacher hitting the kid. It's an adult hitting an adult. And that's the problem. A lot of these kids, because they never got punched in the mouth, they want to be disrespectful. I'm gonna say it me.
Swinging on them, swinging on them. And that kind of takes me to another part. And there's a lot of stuff that we're going to come back and revisit. But do you think that we're looking at a situation now, and not just specifically in this situation, but many band rooms of fun versus discipline?
Say it again.
Why you say it like that?
Because you say fun versus discipline.
Yeah. Fun versus discipline. And I'm really not, I'm not speaking from necessarily from the director's standpoint. I'm talking about the way the student views it. Fun versus discipline. They're more enthralled in having fun and doing X, Y, and Z than being disciplined.
Are you speaking at the collegiate level or high school? Because there's a big difference.
Let's go collegiate first,
Mhm.
and then we can trickle down to high school.
Okay. So when it comes to collegiate, it's a job. You chose the school. It's a job. It's fun when you're that disciplined that you're smashing the person across the field from you. Pause. That's when it's fun. When you know you dedicated yourself to a craft and to the culture of that band program, and other people are bragging on you. That's when it's fun. It's fun when you know that you're holding up the end of your bargain and your crab brothers, your crab sisters, your old heads, your neophytes, your prophytes is taking this band from one level to the next. That's when it's fun. But you gotta be disciplined enough to do the things that you don't like it's fun. That's the problem. That's the problem. And if it's a problem in high school, what you think is a problem in at secondary level? Band is a business, bro. I'm paying you 2, 3,000, 4,000. Looking at some of these universities that's giving money, you got $50,000 scholarships. Talking about fun, man, boy, you better come to practice. This free trip that you going on, that's fun. Going to Atlanta because you never would have been there before, that's fun. Bands like Alabama A&M going to Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, breaking history, that's fun. But it's a job.
Yeah, but I'm not for you yelling at me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna yell at me. You ain't my daddy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna just tell you like the late great Alpha brother, Dr. Isaac Greggs, told me, this ain't the band for your son, then, and I'll leave it at that.
Mm. Oh, all right. Yeah, you said a mouthful. So let me ask you this: is there a difference when you start talking about what's said versus physical altercations, right? Because and again, I said I was going to go back to some of the stuff that you said. Um, do you feel like, or do you think that because you didn't put hands on the kid, the way that he approached the student in the band hall was justifiable?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna say it. Absolutely, because now you're a cancer. Like you're a cancer. Because let's be real. You have two at this moment. You have two alpha male approaches, right? The band director say, "Hey, move around." You stood there,
Nope.
right? You said no. I say, "Hey, gonna move around." You say no. Okay,
Nope.
that's my first time. I'm walking towards you, because you know I can't put my hands on you. If this was the early '90s, it would have been a completely different story. I'm telling you, people know consequences, bro. You can't tell me. And I'm not saying that the way we did band at that time was correct. But I know for a fact, if this was Southern University in the '90s, he would have never said nothing. If this was other schools in the '90s, '80s, '70s, you wouldn't have part your lips, bro.
Double deduction.
Come on, dog. You disrespected a director. It don't get no worse than that, bro. You'll never be in my band again. Go home. Go home.
I I truly want to agree with you in the fact that you said something about your bandmates holding you accountable.
Mhm.
Is that lost now in the sense of now we have a generation of young people who's like, hey, that's them. That ain't my problem.
Weak. Weak. Like let's keep it 1,000. I'll reverse this question for you real quick, bro. As a member of Kappa Kappa Psi National Honor Band Fraternity, you telling me that would have slid?
Absolutely not.
That's my whole point. I know big sis portion out on the line right now, but all the cousins that's in Tau Beta Sigma, y'all to let that slid? And real talk, even the dudes in Phi Mu Alpha, y'all shouldn't have let that slide. Cause you're leaders. You're leaders. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. There's no way you would have told Professor George Edwards, nah. Nah. All right, bro. I'm gonna show you. We gonna show the box would have showed you no. That's the problem. People, these kids know they could do that. They know they could call a president, and the president don't want no bad publicity. Oh, you not even gonna make it to your phone, bro.
Mm.
Just saying, bro. It's just a different breed, dog.
So first, before we keep going, first of all, I want to say welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Go ahead and smash that like daddy for this conversation. We gonna dive a little bit deeper in it, man. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passions Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. Also, we have our sister Apri joining us yet again. We haven't seen her since the auxiliary show, but wanted to bring her in today. And you may see her a couple more times. But I realized she okay, now she fixed it. She fixed it. She spelled her name wrong at first, and I was gonna tell her she spelled it wrong, but you fixed it. So I my bad. You got it before I said anything. So Apri, let me ask you this question. Give Quan a little break because he been in here preaching for a second. First of all, have you seen the Southern video that is taking place?
Yeah, I saw the clip of it.
Okay.
It was very
All right. So my question to you is, and now, and this is great because I don't. Does this happen, or have you seen anything like this happen from the dancer side of things?
No, not in college. Now, if it's out there, you're not gonna see it. But I haven't seen any clips or heard any clips about like practices that dancers. You usually don't supposed to have your phone out anyway.
Mm.
Practice, but yeah, discretion is always key. What goes on in practice. Now, for me, I am a cheerleading coach in high school, and I know they always have their phone, and I have to be mindful what I say. But that phone don't come out during practice unless I tell you to.
So,
So
so the defiance. So the story that's being brought out and being told is that student said something to the director that was unfavorable while he was on the podium, and then the director actually did come to them in a specific way or a polite way, and asked him to remove himself. The student didn't move, and then when you see the video clip, that's when the rest of the explicit language kind of moved towards that. My question to you is, what was your thoughts about that, and what did you think was the best course of action, or could have been the best course of action in that kind of predicament?
honestly, you knew that it wasn't the whole video. Children or kids or young adults, they're still kids to me because I teach them. They never show the whole video. They always show the clip where it's bad or it's become very disrespectful. They never show 100% of the time what happened before that. So that was the issue. Would I have been in the student face? I don't know. But a student tell me after I tell you to leave and you don't leave, I've told a student to get out of my classroom and they didn't, and then my whole tone changed. So would I get in the student face? No, I wouldn't have gotten because all I know is fight or flight. So I don't want to do that to a student. But if I told you to get out and you telling me no, that's very disrespectful.
I'm a fight, sis. It's cool.
Yeah. But then I expect my students to have my back. Like I would have expected the other bandsmen be like, "Hey yo, dog, get out. You need to get out." Their loyalty is to the band director, and apparently, I mean, were they scared? I don't know, but I would have if it was me or people I marched with, they would have kicked them out before the band director did. The band director wouldn't have had to say anything. The section leader would have. So where was the section leader?
That sounds very, very similar to what Quan said.
Or
Your people.
let me go down before the director. Where's the drum major? Where was the drum major?
Mm.
I ain't trying to be funny. Facts. Because I'm pretty sure he was sitting to the side.
And before a band director opens his mouth, the drum major is supposed to regulate the band. And where was the drum major? I'm just saying. Or your section leader. Drum major, section leader, one of them two. One of
Mm.
the
And can I be real with you, Julian? Even to add to that, we would have found out who leaked the video.
yeah.
That's a whole different conversation.
Like we'd have found out who leaked that video too. Ain't no way.
Now, yeah, that's that. Now, 100%, absolutely. During my time, it would have definitely been hands on the person that at least that leaked the video, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
And
so
I
you
mean,
go section leader, old heads? Because where was the old heads? Oh, they don't do old head things like. Never mind. D- Two different generations.
Hey, well, look, whenever God blesses me in Jesus' name with my band, we gonna bring old band back. That's gonna be our shirts. Bring old band back because some of that, and I'm not a proponent just for the quote unquote glazing. I'm not speaking about that, but there should be an aspect of respect and reverence for this is our band, this is the culture. Like, where is that? And I'm looking at the comments. 9 out of 10 it wasn't a freshman, right? So if that's an old head that did that, because from the video, you look at the full clip, you could kind of hear him say, "Man, I'm not playing this S." Like that's what I heard. Now we don't have a transcription from it, but that's what I heard. If you telling me you told a director that, man, please. It's been time we've been in the middle of a full out battle against TSU, and Prof Edwards was like all blues, and we like, oh, but we played all blues.
I know the feeling. Because if I played, we had to play my first, my last 448 times. I couldn't stand that song, but we had to play it.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, where's the respect and reverence? That boy would have got put out right then, bro. Go home. Go get your stuff. Go home. I'm gonna make an example out of you. Go home.
Don't come back.
Don't come back.
Don't come
Matter of
back.
fact, matter of fact, somebody give him a T-shirt. Take my shirt off.
Yeah, Dr. Sanford used to say, turn in everything. Everything. But see, that's the thing, right? The thing is, what would have been the best response? Because let me backtrack. We all know that if the masses, and I mean the masses, I mean news media, stuff like that, because we've seen this happen multiple times in multiple classrooms, and many people from the masses always say, that's you the teacher, that's you an adult, blah 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 blah, you supposed to have more restraint and practice more restraint and all this kind of stuff, right? What would have been the best course of action in that situation?
So there was an incident that the video was at last year where at Winston State, a professor asked a student to leave. She didn't leave. They called the cops. It turned into a big deal. So you don't want to call the cops because you don't want that to be involved. But as a band director or an admin or a professor or even a teacher, it's like, what do I do? Like, first of all, it's about a respect factor. And if people are watching, and I say high school, they watching how the students react. So it all depends on how the teacher reacts to that situation, because then in their mind it was like, well, they ain't gonna handle it like that, so I can get away with it. But then on the other side, it's just like, yo, you're not about to play me in my classroom, but then you don't want to call the cops because you don't want the cops to evolve, and then you might lose your job. So what do you do exactly? What do I agree getting face of the person? No, but if you're an old head, I probably would be pissed off because I would get mad at my old heads versus my new heads quicker than anything. And to say you not leaving, you trespassing now because I asked you to leave. So be removed. One way or another, you gotta go.
Again, if this was back in the day, man, I'm gonna be real right now. If a person run up on me or any of my directors, my kids gonna fight.
I can say that if somebody ran up on me, if a student tried to fight me before the student could fight me, my students who I built good relationships with,
Right?
they would have fought him.
They
They
would
know touch me.
like, come on. Or blatant disrespect, like what that man said, I'm not playing this S.
Yeah, like why would you say that? You had band practice.
And if you was a section leader, why not pull a band director from the side? Hey man, can we like maybe revamp the tuba line or bass line? Come on, dog. It's such a better approach for that young man. That man felt entitled because he knew nothing was gonna happen to him. Out of touch with me, straight up. If I'm a go. You're not gonna play in my face. I'm sorry.
So then you're actually leaning towards something I wanted to ask about.
Mhm.
Um, then the next question will actually be then, have we lost I guess I'll put it this way. Have we lost the art of student accountability?
We haven't lost it. It's just is not existing anymore. And that stems from elementary, middle school, high school, college, and then they grow up to be adults in the work field that don't feel like they are held accountable for anything. They're entitled. So it starts in elementary. Do it start with parents? Yes, it does, because that's who raised them.
So even though I feel everything you say, I respectfully disagree. I'm gonna tell you why. It depends what environment you're in. The reason why I say it depends what environment what you in, I know a few. I've been had the privilege of being as a high school director to be inside certain band programs. Right, some of that what we saw at took place there. I guarantee you, Julian. Would you agree? You think that's happening at Norfolk? Somebody could tell Miss Stephanie, I'm not playing this ass.
Uh, During my time, no, I don't. I really don't know what these kids are built how these kids are built now. So I can't really answer that question. But I
Okay,
know during our time, we wouldn't part our lips to say nothing like that.
right.
Whether
So
it was Miss Sanders, whether it was Dr. Sanford, whether it was Paul Adams, whether it was Dr. Zachary or Mr. Zachary back then, it didn't matter. It was tight.
right,
We in there shutting it up.
and I don't see that happening currently at the Storm either. Now, student director is something completely different. Like I'm just being honest. That's something different. But you told that to a director, somebody would have put their hands on you. So I feel like it's my question is what environment are we creating? And I think the reason why this video, it's the video is big, especially to the people that march in the golden age of bands. We're like, there's a lot of things we can say, and I don't know why it's just like the stars align where it's like Nathan Hamer's book came out and then the video came out at the same time. But there were certain things, bro, that we never heard of Southern University. And honestly, my heart is kind of breaking as a New Orleanian, as a person from Louisiana. Dog, Southern is a staple. It's no different from when what happened with Robert Champion in Florida. We could not believe that that was happening, at that time to that caliber of a band. We never would have thought you got footage, you got back behind the scenes footage about Southern University when they're the most tight-lipped people in the band world. I don't know, man. I don't know.
This is and this actually this comment right here just popped up and I typically don't always talk about or bring up topics from the comments, but I have to look at this one because this is interesting. So do you feel like he may not have had the respect of the students? Don't
Hmm.
everybody speak at once.
Mm. But it's an old there, right? Y'all, it's not a. Uh,
I'm gonna just be honest. I don't care if he got respect for him or not. We all had a band director we just really didn't like. We all had a section leader we didn't like.
yeah,
I'll tell you this quick story real quick. Say, sis, you marched at PV or you marched at?
I marched at Winston State.
Oh, okay, cool.
My
So
car.
I marched for the Storm. I never forget one day at practice, BSU night, Prof Edwards told me to turn my bass drum going long ways. We was at block band, right, Luke? And so all the other bass drummers was going, east to west. I'm sorry, north to south, like pole to pole. And he told me to turn the opposite way. And I thought it was stupid, but I did it. The section leader was like, bro, turn straight. I say, no, the band director says turn sideways. Me and my line brother got into it because he was like, bro, that's stupid. You messing up the line. I say, but the director said turn this way. The band director said, God damn it, this is my band. If I want one bass drummer to be turned this way, this is what the hell I want. You respect the chain of command. When you're in a band, it is emblematic of being a soldier. Your opinion don't matter. Until then, get your own goddamn band.
What?
So for that young man to be like, I'm not playing this, that's fine. Take your if that would have been Quan, bleep this out when we do the edits, Luke. I would have literally say, get your bitch ass out and build your own fucking band.
I missed
Or
the
you,
last one.
or you could catch these hands. Pick one. Or I would have had it. I'd have winked from across the room and had a kid touch him up.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. It's different. Because even if you didn't respect the band director, and I know there's plenty of people that did not respect our band director, you either left the band and didn't come back, or you just dealt with it. But I don't think I've ever, and maybe not in the band room, but I never seen anybody disrespect Dr. Michael Magruder in his face like that. First of all, he's from Jackson, Mississippi, so it was just like, oh, we're not playing. He's not playing that. And yeah, we stood in the rain in the storm, and he told us do not move. And so, what do we have to do? Stay in the rain and do not move. If you didn't like it, go home and don't come back. I don't know.
So I'm gonna switch gears slightly. So before I get into that, let me do the right thing because I ain't did it in a while. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music, music education, and more. Go ahead and smash that like daddy if you haven't already done so, man. Let's go ahead and get these likes up, man. Everybody, anytime you come in, just go ahead and hit the like button. If you don't even like the conversation, you can hit the thumbs down. That's cool, but help us with that YouTube algorithm. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passions Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in real Talk That Talk. All right. I'm going to switch gears for a second here. Quan and turned into the cussing preacher. I said something on my show, and I wanted to bring this up. So I have been in multiple different spaces. Obviously, for those who are new to the channel, new to the page, I've been assistant at PV. I've worked in high school. I've worked in middle school. I've done drum corps. So this is the one thing that I said on the show, and I want to bring this up, and I want to get you all's thoughts on this. As Black people, as people of color, as chocolate folk, it seems more common, more often than not, that we tend to have these types of outbursts and use this type of language with our kids. With me personally, I had the availability to teach many students that did not look like me. I will also preface this by saying that I was a person that, when needed, would go to that particular level of using some of that language. However, when I walked in front of the students that didn't look like me, I had the availability to teach those kids and not have to jump into that space, realizing that there was a level of respect that I could give those kids that I wasn't giving to our kids, which made me change the way that I approached our students. So what I said on my show was, we have to do better with dealing with our kids. So what do you all feel about that? Do you feel like this, what I'm saying with how we treat our kids, is warranted? Or do you feel like sometimes you just gotta go off on our kids? Talking about chocolate folks versus non-chocolate folks.
The napkins. Do they act like that?
What did you just say? The napkins?
Yeah, I call.
I'm sorry, that is funny. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Are they the lack of melanin? Are they as disrespectful as our kids? That because I don't know. So I'm asking in the band sense because I'm not. I'm just want to know.
I'm sorry. I heard what you said. I'm still laughing at napkins. My bad. Um, uh, are they just? Are they? No, Lauren, don't steal that. Um,
Go ahead, Lauren. Go right ahead.
you're asking, were they or are they just as disrespectful? Um, by and large, I would say no.
Why?
But 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 I would also say that my approach with them in the beginning was slightly different than my approach with our kids.
Why?
Very good question. And I think that we've seen that on multiple occasions within ourselves, right? And sometimes we walk in front of people that don't. Matter of fact, here's a great analogy of it: the Key and Peele skit where he's walking up to the chocolate folk and he approaches them slightly different than he approaches, you know, the napkins. Sorry. So, with that being said, in most times when you're placed in that particular type of situation, 9 times out of 10, that is just kind of I guess you want to say a natural reaction. I don't know, but I think that we do it unconscious or subconsciously, but and I made it a point to where I made a conscious decision to treat both students the same.
All right. Now we got all that fluff out the way.
Quan, Quan, you talking?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
talking.
he
Can you
said
hear me?
that.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me, Luke?
My bad, my bad. I hit a wrong button on my thing, so I didn't hear nothing y'all just said. Y'all gonna have to. Can we rewind that and play that back? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got y'all. I got y'all, family. Now that we got that fluff out the way, let's be honest. Let's be honest. I'm saying this out of love. I know it's your first time meeting me. I'm saying this out of love. I promise. I'm really cool. First drink on me. The whole point is we also have to realize that in regards of relationship and building relationships, you're going to use certain colloquialisms. You're going to use certain vernacular that shows that you have a relatability factor to the student. Now, I do not condone cursing a kid out. I do not condone saying or belittling or demeaning a student. That's not what I'm saying. I give you an example. In 2014,
I'm looking at a pre. She like, I don't know if I'm with you on that one. But go ahead, Quan. My bad. My bad.
well, I'll say this: when what ended up happening was I taught my very first 2 years of teaching. I taught at a predominantly Hispanic school. All right. When I asked the kids, "Hey, do you mind moving?" They move. When I started teaching at an inner city school, for those that who from Houston who know if I say this area, urban low socioeconomic area called CUNY Homes, is the hood, Third Ward. Um, I literally was teaching at this middle school, and I was like, hey, y'all mind moving here, doing that? First word came out the kids. Bro, don't effing tell me nothing. Whoa, it's day one. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm the professional. I'm not gonna do that. Hey, y'all mind, please. After about 2 weeks of this, all I literally said was, why the F does a person have to curse at you for you to move? Do you know when once I said that curse word, and I know this may sound ignorant, but this is also learned behavior according to your environment.
Hmm.
Soon as I said that, the kids was like, all right, bro, we good, we'll move. So you may have people just like Julian that literally says, bro, I don't agree with approaching you like this. I don't agree with you know, uh having you, treating you like this, right? But when you do it, they have such a sense of relatability, then they do it. That's why I do feel like to a degree we still do have remnants of a slave mentality mind. Even if we took it, let's take it a step further. What about coaches? You telling me these coaches not out here cursing these kids, and you know they cursing them?
But that's
But
so. Here's the thing.
hold on,
I'm not going to disagree with you.
no, let me
But
just finish this comment. This
go
point.
ahead.
But it's acceptable in the athletic world.
Mm.
Come on now, like we gonna keep it a thou while. Let's keep it a thou while. Shout out to Maya. If it's why? How come musicians we always got to be the eyeballs and be different, be super professional? But the coach out here, he making six figures, only doing football, cursing kids out, putting kids out, having kids hold weights up. But all of that is acceptable. How is that cool? I can model replacement behavior. I've done it. I've done it. I'm not saying what I'm saying. I just say my disclaimer was I'm not saying that is right.
Hmm.
Just like real talk, that little boy that disrespected the director at Southern wasn't right. But the difference is with organizations, we are not Jesus. I'm not rejoicing for that one. I'm a rejoice over my 99. If that one could kill my culture, that one gotta go. Nah, bro. We soft. Let's keep it real. We soft. That's why we got a generation like this. We soft.
Hmm.
Gentle ass parenting. That's the problem.
Are you raising your hand, or you thinking?
Oh no. I mean, I slightly agree with him just a little bit. But I was laughing at the teachers cussing out students. I match energy. I'm sorry. Like I'm the match. I teach most of my I have 56% Hispanics, and then I have blacks, and then I have whites. How I talk to my brown and black students is not the way I talk to the lack of melanin students that I have. That's the better word instead of napkins
I thought it was funny. My bad.
or paper towels, however you want to refer. Um,
The
but
quilted quicker picker upper.
Bounty.
but I talk the way they can recognize, and also talking to my Hispanic students, especially my males, the way their mothers are treated, they not always respected. So I have to let them know, like, don't like, hey, like I'm your teacher, I am a female, but like, what's up? And they don't disrespect me ever. They listen to what I gotta say. I barely argue and fuss with my students, but I give them that mommy voice that they understand. And sometimes I have to be soft with them, but it don't always work. Gentle parenting doesn't always work. I have 3 boys, and I really try to be gentle parenting, and that wonderful shit can go out the window sometimes.
Facts. I'll just say it like this, and I'll just say it like this, and we have to be honest. Where education is right now, it is very similar. That's why we have research, peer review research that speaks about from the prison pipeline. We treat some of them like prisoners. From elementary school, we tell them to walk in the corridor. We tell them to make bubbles. We tell them to put their hands down, put their hands behind their back. Some of these kids have more adult responsibilities at home. Then you backdoor and tell them come in and then be a child. Then they're in specific organizations where they don't even know how to express themselves. And the only way that they know how to express themselves is by cursing. Let me tell you something. No, no, I do not condone cursing kids out. But if I have to curse you, then rear you in and then say, look, I'm gonna teach you a better way on how to speak without cursing. I'm gonna teach you a better way on how to act because the real world may arrest you, may look at you as a threat, so forth and so on, because you're either a black or brown student. I'm gonna teach you the better way. But just like you said, that man, soft approach, this, and that, man, if that doesn't reach you by any means necessary, I need to reach you because your life may be dependent on it. In high school, I have you 4 years at the max. I should have you 4 years. I have 4 years to break away almost 14 to 15 years of bad habits prior to you coming to me on top of teaching you. So nah. I'm sorry. That's the problem is we don't want to hold kids accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are I saw the comment that says that at the end of the day, we quote unquote they don't want to be called weak. Weak is a definition and it describes something. It's an adjective. You are weak right now. That's why we have young men that are more emotional than ever, that are willing to pop off, shoot up the school, go in the neighborhoods and do wild stuff as young black men without holding themselves accountable because their emotions are fiery. This is why the black community needs to settle down and go back to certain things that work, and accountability is one of them.
Yeah, I would say I agree with him on that because I don't necessarily cuss at my students or even my cheerleaders because I'm the hardcore coach. So I do use cuss words and then I'm like, okay, let me apologize. And I'm quick to apologize because a lot of students, a lot of kids are not used to hearing adults apologize for their actions when they're wrong. So I'm teaching them that adults can be wrong because growing up, adults never, my mom and daddy never told me they was wrong, even though I knew they was wrong. They didn't, they were always right. And this generation, they're very sensitive, which is okay. And that soft word, like you said, listening to my black and brown boys, they got anger. They don't know which emotions to deal with. And the one emotion they know how to deal with is anger because society be like, suck it up. You don't supposed to cry. But what are they supposed to do? And then they grow up F boys and nobody can't figure out why they F boys, but this is the reason because they can't deal with other emotions. And I'm quick if somebody tell my boys, oh, you don't need to do this or you better shut up because I will fight you. Let them, I tell my sons, it's okay to express yourself, but let's talk it out. I don't want them to be growing up to be these angry black males and then they become abusive emotionally, mentally, or physically. Cause I would judo chop you in your throat without no hesitation. Let's figure this out. And that's the wrong with our society now. Like our black boys, and I'm only speaking on them, where do they have where can they go to vent? Where can they go? When society tells them to suck it up, when the black males are telling them to tell them to suck it up. And if they're too soft, they're calling them gay. That's still going around. So what are they supposed to do? I'm just saying. And you're right, coaches do cuss them out. I hear it all the time. I'll be like, God, no, like it's bad. And that's why I didn't think the band director did that because I've seen coaches jack up football players on the sideline at practice with no hesitation because of a bad play or somebody or the player was disrespectful. So that's just my input.
Um, it's been a lot that has been said. I'm gonna try to pick up a couple of things. And I'm gonna go back to the coaches situation. So the first thing with the coaches situation is no, I absolutely agree on the fact that they can get away with anything. As a matter of fact, I remember vividly at a football game, I'm there with my band and the coaches and obviously if you've been in the high school sector at some point, you know that legally there has to be some type of administrator at every single event and or game. And so all the principals were at the game, sitting on the 50-yard line. Coach was going in on a student. I can't even remember what it was. They didn't bat their eye, didn't say a word. But I distinctly remember getting called to the office because I had said something that didn't even involve a curse word. I don't even remember what it was, but I got called to the office because the student wasn't happy with the fact of what I said to them. And I was like, in what world is this like okay? Like it's either all good or it's not. So yeah, coaches can get away with anything. But I'm gonna put this out here, and I'm not saying that I agree with this or disagree with this, but it was something I was thinking about as you all were talking, and it kind of goes along the lines of what Quan was talking about. How do we grow our village and our people specifically from the classroom, if we model their home behavior.
Repeat that again for me, bro.
Okay, good. I'm glad you asked me that because I wrote this one down. How do we grow how do we grow with our students, chocolate students, and our people if we model their home behavior?
So I'll say it like this. Unfortunately, I was raised by a single mother who was very strong, and I had an absentee father. Right. My band director was a father figure. My drum instructor was a father figure. Outside of that, it was just the neighborhood. Kids look at what's consistent, even if it's bad. Doesn't make it right. But kids look at things at what's consistent, even if it may be bad. If that band director builds a rapport with that student and happens to curse at that kid will more likely not feel that it's personal. And when you talk to them kids after the fact, by continuously building that relationship, those kids realize, man, he was just trying to help me. He just was trying to steer me in the right direction. There's a difference between reprimand and belittling. That's two different things. What we're speaking about is that band director of a college band. And we need to emphasize this is the highest level of professional bandsmen. He said, I'm not playing this. If this was the conducting world, you've never heard a person. There's one video of a person that went back and forth with Leonard Bernstein. Leonard Bernstein put his ass out. What I'm saying is, we are so sensitive to the fact that we want to be held accountable for anything. So when you say modeling the behavior at home, my question is this: I don't believe that the band is a model of home. Some of the language, vernacular, colloquialisms, those different things may be similar and relatable. But if you a band director and a real band director like the ones that come on this network, oh, you daddy, food provider, Meals on Wheels, the therapist, the doctor, the food store, you just about everything that you can possibly be to that particular student to ensure that that student have an opportunity uh, of a higher education if that's what they so choose. I don't believe that's what we doing, bro. I don't believe that's what we doing.
Okay. Mm. Ooh, a lot. I don't know. Is the priest still here? Did she? Probably walked away for a second. It's all good because I did have another question. But
I'm
with
still
the,
here.
oh, okay, all right. Because I have this question. And then also, guys, I pinned the link to the chat. If you want to come in real quick and just talk that talk with us, you are more than able to do so. Just go to YouTube. If you're not watching us on YouTube, go to YouTube and you can click the link that is pinned to the chat. So I will say this: I grew up, in the home. Me and my brother, single mother. Obviously, my situation is a little different than Quan. I had visitation with my father, so I did, get my weekend visits or so on and so forth. But Pri, you brought up a lot as far as boys and their emotions and so on and so forth. I guess my thought on that is in a two-parent household. And I know this is kind of going a little left, but when you were talking about it, just made me think about it. In a two-parent household, on average, in the past, were mothers teaching boys how to be able to deal with their emotions, or was it more of a, hey, deal with go see your daddy?
I would say both.
Okay.
I would say my mom, because my brother is much younger than me. So I was in college by the time like he started like growing up for real. But when my parents first separated and divorced, it was both my mom had my brother and I, but then she sent him to my dad because she felt like he could help him become a man, quote unquote. So, but I've also seen my aunt with her sons, teach them how to deal with their emotions. So, I think it's both. It's more leaning towards go see your daddy, talk to your daddy about it.
Um,
But I'm
and oh, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying I'm not a. I just know my perspectives of what I've seen in like my cousins and different things like that.
Mhm. And I guess the reason why I'm asking that question is because as a young lad, um, you know, I only had my mother, and growing up, I would never have those quote unquote emotional conversations. You know, I just learned, or I just kind of dealt with them as they were or as they came. Um, and you know, I hung around my partners a lot, and as boys, we tend to, um, I guess you want to say, feed off each other's energy, so on and so forth, relate to each other in different ways. And so because of that, I've never had that quote unquote emotional conversation. So I don't know. I don't know if what that looks like on the back end, is it a benefit, or is it a benefit or not? And so I just wanted to ask that question from your perspective, and see what your thought was. Um, but anyway, going forward, getting back to the whole Southern University thing, Quan, I'm absolutely in agreement with you in the fact that this is, to me, just absolutely crazy in the fact that this is coming out from Southern University, especially in the band world. Um, and yes, it is very reminiscent of what happened at FAM, because we can only, as outsiders, speculate what happens in the band rooms. As an undergrad, I can only speculate what was going on at FAM. But when we heard about Robert Champion, it was just like a shock to all of us, right? And things like this happening in Southern's band room, regardless of how you want to slice it, right? I don't care what school you went to, what school you marched with, or whatever. You look at Southern as one of the top programs, and so you look at them, excuse me, as one of the elites. And so when they come out with these kind of situations, it's almost like a hit, like, not Southern, you know what I'm saying? So here's the question. The question is, who should be held accountable in this particular situation? The director or the student?
All right, so I'll answer this, and then I'm gonna give you what's gonna happen, and then I'll give you what should happen. What's going to happen is going to be a PR approach from the school. They possibly going to say, well, we're going to address it. If it gets to that, they're going to say, we're going to address the situation. It's under investigation, blah, 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 right? Whatever. What should happen, and they're going to, talk to the director, please don't be doing that, be mindful, yada, yada, yada. What should happen is that student needs to be put out, and whoever recorded it, they need to be put out too. The reason why I say that is because they should have a sense of loyalty to the band program, to never defame the shield. What you basically did was, not only did you record something in practice, not only didn't put the whole video out, but you knew posting that what it would do to us, to the brand of Southern University, the Human Jukebox. So because you knew that, go home. You and your partner that was disrespectful, go home. That's what should happen. Because if we're looking at the entity as an organization or a business, the same person that exposed it, the same person that was disrespectful, would have been fired. So let me teach you this life lesson right now. Go home. Give me all my stuff back. I don't care if you march 4 years. You ain't getting no jacket. Go home. And if you gonna finish with your own student loan. But I ain't giving you no more money. Oh no, not me. I'll tell it to you and your parent. You can take it how you want it. He said, what if the shield is trash?
I mean,
Well, he said, what if the light needed to be shined? Shined on what? So like even my thing is even from this, what you getting out of it? Huh?
now I'm thinking about what he's saying, in the sense of what if the light needed to be shined.
To be shined on what?
What if, I mean, I'm not saying that there is, right? I'm not saying that there is, but this actually opens up another question. And I was in the process of closing out. This is going to be the closing arguments, but this is actually opened up a really good question, right? I'm not saying that there is, so I'm not speculating that there is or thinking that there is, but what if there is a high level of abuse going on, right? And this was the way to be able to get that information out and let the light be shined.
Okay. Define abuse. Define abuse for me real quick.
Everybody, and that's the problem. Everybody's opinion.
Oh, give me yours. Give me 3 examples of abuse.
Abuse is, I can't say that. I can't say that. Because that would be going against, well, it wouldn't be going against, but yeah, I would go with what Mr. Outlaw said, like glazing. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. I'll put it that way.
So define glazing, because
There we go again. That's
no, because most of the stuff, are you talking about glazing from early the 90s and 2000s? Or are you talking about glazing right now? Because if that's doing push-ups, then the whole band program glazing.
That's what but see, that's why I was about to say what I was about to say. Everything now can be considered as glazing.
Okay.
You know, everybody wearing white t-shirts is considered as glazing.
Okay. So let's go according to what definition is, right? All right. My question is, but for him to be disrespectful, would you still shining? If he approached him just on the strength of just say moving, which you ain't supposed to be moving either. But if he was trying to wipe sweat from his eye, and the director walked up to him and hemmed him up, that's one thing, right? But you clearly hear that boy say, "I'm not playing this."
I didn't hear that, and I didn't see that video. So
and I saw the full video, and you hear him say it, and that's why he walked up to him.
Gotcha.
So what you mean shine what? And can I be honest with you though? And whoever said, I don't know if it's a joke or not, but I feel like as a director, some of that mindset is like that's the parents that run up in my office trying to check me, and I'm uncheckable. Like it be some parents like that walk in and be like, well, Mr. Mitchell, you don't. Yeah, but you didn't know that your child was doing X, Y, Z though. And the parents be mad because you be like, you didn't tell me everything. I'm that. It's a meme going out with Martin, he walking into the courtroom, and it says when the teacher got all the evidence for the parent teacher conference meeting, I'm the one. I know your kid smoke weed. I know your kid vape in school. I know about you and your business at home. But because you didn't like this reaction that I had with your child holding them accountable, now you sitting in my office with the principal. So now I'm about to expose you. Shine what? That's the problem, bro. We hold nothing for tradition anymore. We hold nothing sacred. Nothing anymore. No discretion. They putting rituals on all on Google. Let me be quiet. It's bad, bro. Like this behavior trickles over to D9 life.
No, I agree.
It trickles over to the Greek life. It trickles over to everything else, bro. Like, come on, dog.
As soon as you said that, the pre-K back in.
He said the band director the video exonerates the band director. No, I'm not saying exonerated. The video shouldn't have happened. That's what I'm saying. The video shouldn't have happened. But since the video out, if you told me, here's the crazy thing. You tell your boss right now I ain't doing that shit and watch what happens. Watch what happens. So how's that cool to teach that kid? That's all right. I don't care if you working at McDonald's. Go ahead and drop them fries, Luke. Man, I ain't doing that shit. All right, bro. Go home. You're just gonna put Earl off for fries like that? Yes.
Gonna put Earl off.
Come on, dog. Like we justify. I'm telling you, we're getting smarter and weaker at the same time.
That is a heck of a thing, man. We getting smarter and weaker at the same time. That no truer words have ever been said on that regard.
But also, I'm gonna be real with you. When you have constitutions, like my dance instructor, I ain't gonna lie, I've learned so much from her. Big shout out to Miss Oville at Worthing. She has a constitution,
yes,
the
sir.
marriage system. Like she has so much in place and reiterates it to the kids to where the kids know when you go into her office, the kids be like, "You about to put me out, huh?" She be like, "Yes, you know why? Yes, ma'am, I know why." And they can recite why they getting put out.
And you got to sign that bad boy too.
Apparently, real talk. Apparently, that boy felt like entitled. He possibly got his money. He was like, I'm a March by You classic anyway. It's the end of the year. Fee receipt already been paid. I'm going to turn up on him. My question is, what the other band director said too? That's what I want to
know. Bro, you done said a mouthful. Man, you can just go back to so many things that you said in this. I'm gonna try to go back to where we started from in the sense of going back to the glazing thing. And the reason why I'm going back to that is because glazing, from what we remember glazing to be versus what these kids say that glazing is so vastly different, right? And because it's so vastly different, I believe, in my personal opinion, now I have two schools of thought. One of my first schools of thought is the fact that I absolutely agree with you that there is no respect level for the program. There is no respect level for what goes inside of that. No discretion whatsoever with a lot of these kids nowadays. But I think the other half of that is they also feel like because of their level of glazing that they are entitled to show the oppression that they're going through, and they think that trumps that level of discretion and respect for said program. What do y'all feel about that?
They're all about the "I got you" moment. This generation is about "I got you, let me get you." That's how they feel. Like they want to get you so bad. When their feelings are hurt, they're like, "Oh, I got you." That's how they think. And you got to be smart.
But the crazy thing about, so I agree with everything you say, sis. But the crazy thing about I got you moment, here's the thing. Everybody know this. These students can't sometimes see past their nose though.
You're right.
So while you talking about I got you, you don't know what protect me. You don't expose what the part you did. So just like football, if I do a penalty, you do a penalty, guess what? It offsets. For the most part, if I could justify my reason, I'm okay. I curse you out. I was wrong. I shouldn't have got it. But the young man was disrespectful. Okay. We could play politics. the just say the powers that be say, well, you can't put them out right now. Okay, I'm not gonna put them out right now. But I could write a drill and don't put him on the field. Go stand on the sideline to make you feel so uncomfortable to where you can't be on the field. Now you could say that's targeting. That's fine.
I don't know. Is that really a punishment now? Because these, don't know, these kids now don't even care about the field like that. If it
But
ain't stands, it's tight. But
watch this though. But you ain't gotta travel. You ain't gotta travel. And the other people can make you feel uncomfortable because right now, what you look like, you're the weakling, bro. Like, and what these kids fail to realize, that's how the corporate world operates. Everything operate like that. So yeah, I got you right now, but the power of the pen is something crazy. Man, y'all better learn how to play politics, chess, not checkers. And what's Luke, when me and you be talking on the side all the time, what is the number one rule of the 48 laws of power? You never outshine
your
the
master.
master. So you tried to have an alpha male moment with the master on the podium at that moment. You thought you was gonna win? Come on, bro. Now you look stupid.
All right. Before I bring the first guest that I got down here in here, I'm pretty sure it says JD, so I think it's Jared. Apri, what's your thoughts? Who's held accountable, the student or the director?
That's hard. Can I just say both? Both. In a political aspect, both. But if it was me, I would have done the same thing, to be honest. So I would have gotten the student face. Especially if you said, if I asked you to leave and you didn't leave, now you really being disrespectful. Because first you was defiant and said you didn't want to play whatever I told you to play. And then and I asked you to leave and I was like, if I'm calm, cool, I'm always the happy go person, like, hey, but then when my voice changed and now I gotta switch, now you being disrespectful, now you gotta go. So I put more so on the student. Because it's not a child. It's not a child. It's an adult. Like y'all been saying, it's a young adult. So, yeah. The student.
All right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring the guest that we got down here in here. Remember, guys, if you guys want to get in real quick and talk that talk with us, you can go ahead and click the link. It's pinned to the chat. Let's bring him in. What's going on? I'm assuming it's Jared.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. There we go. All right. What's going on, bro?
Hey man, how y'all doing?
All right. What you got the phone in your mouth?
Oh, is it loud?
No, it's just it sounds really close and semi muffled. But go ahead.
Oh, you talking about who who's held accountable, right?
Right.
Uh, so politically, yes, it would be both. I put it like if it was me, that's definitely one of those. You got to come into my office, type of situations for sure. Um, the kid most definitely. There's wrongs all over the place. Um, a lot of things that kids do now are it's a lot of excuse me, a lot of things are like deep value. We don't see the value in a lot of things anymore. Kids especially. It was mentioned, I think that was Quan, was just talking about like how a lot of things are like exposed. There's no I don't want to say secrecy, but yeah, there's no secrecy to a lot of things. And it's not that to say that this one thing is right or not. I absolutely probably would have lost my mind as well if a kid would have been like, "I'm not playing Blase Splee or whatever." Um, yeah, it would have been going crazy. And I have students that's currently marching at 7. You know, freshmen, old head. I think they both. Um, so for my man's to respond in the way that he did, it's understandable. Uh, sadly too, I think about it. He's a director, whether he's the head director or not. He's a director because how do you escalate even further than right? Like, but besides putting his hands on him, which I'm thank God he didn't. Uh, but it's where do we go from here? Kick my man's went on administrative leave or something like that, because the video is not current. It happened a second ago. If you watch something like that, you'll recognize you didn't see my man's for a second. You missed a few games or whatever. So like politically, yeah, you had to have been held accountable. You are a professional. You are the a man in charge. You do not, you shouldn't have to resort to that type of language, that type of action. Uh, I love a lot of the comments. I came in kind of late to it, but I like a lot of the other. What was the other directors? What were the section leaders? I had a point about that too, though, because if I'm the director, and I get it coming to bat for your director, because I definitely would have. But what? But on one hand, like I'd be like, man, if I'm the director, right? I ain't gonna have no damn kid coming back me up. Like my word is enough. But my word should be enough, which is why I think my man did that. He moved that chair out the way. He walked up, took that horn, that mouthpiece disappeared. Yeah, like I understand the frustration. It's kind of like, and I mean, Julian, you've taught at many levels. It's kind of like you don't have classroom management. You go to your principal, and okay, here your principal come in and talking about, hey, make sure y'all listen to Mr. Lewis, he's a good guy, and all that kind of stuff. Like, nah, bro, that's mine. That was my final comment for it too. Like, Dr. Sanford, he was like, hey man, nothing I've never seen anything get that big. But alluding to like leading to it, he'd be like, hey man, you too big for my program. And I'm big. And we can't both be big. You gotta go. And it was something it was like he could see where it was going well before it got there. And I was just like, wow, that's wild. Hey, but I get it. And then, what's crazy? My man's left and got his own program. How about that?
All right, Jared, man, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate your comments, all that, man.
Luke,
How's it go? Real quick? Everything good out there in the ATL?
Yeah, yeah. We working. We working.
Good, good. I might be out there very soon, so get my room ready.
Oh, hey, I got you, bro.
hey, I just want to make one comment. As brother Jerry was giving his comments, I understand, when saying that the director was wrong and was so forth and so on. I just want everybody to know, if the video would have never came out and it just was hearsay, all they needed was a fall guy. Like
True.
all this really is a fall guy. Because if we're not, and this is the frustrating part, so much wrong goes on at our HBCUs. Like, this is the least of our worries. The reason why this is so big is because it's one of if it's one of the top 3 bands in HBCU bands in the nation.
That's true.
And because like, not being ugly, Southern universities, like, their culture and system is almost like a legend.
Yeah.
So that's why we're like, oh my God, like, but let's be real. Those kids, my SAI sisters that crabbed in Southern University band when it still was predominantly men, a lot of those young ladies, they didn't have to braid their hair and not have perms for 4 to 5 months. They wasn't shaving their heads. They wasn't going through glazing rituals that was wrong. That as an adult, I realized it was wrong. The man asked you to leave. But because you knew that there was no consequence, and again, that's the generation of kids that are being reared.
That's
If
bad.
you get in a fight, when I used to get in a fight in Louisiana, at the age of 10 years old, you could go to jail. Not only did you go to jail, guess what they did? They ticketed your mama. If your mama didn't go to court, they held her in contempt. It was consequences. Now kids can get in 3, 4, 5 fights and don't get suspended from school because they got a label. And they putting more and more labels on kids because they want to have more sub pops so they can get more money. But that's a whole different story. Again, prison the pipeline. I'm just saying, bro, like this video is bigger than just a band. It's about education.
Oh, snap. Yeah, that I mean that is a whole nother um that's a whole nother topic. Uh it was said by one of my colleagues here in Atlanta.
Hold up, real quick, Jared. Before you get into that, give
My
me
bad.
about one more minute because we got another person backstage.
I'm not going to the whole thing. Just kind of, speaking on it. Just how the education system itself, because it's trying to help, it's actually hurting. Like it's we're hurting in a lot of ways. Um uh, yeah. That's just kind of it's a lot to explain or whatever, but like how we think we're helping something is actually hurting it, and now we're starting to see the results of the hurt. That was it.
I agree.
Good
I
job, man.
agree. All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'll be up there. I'll let you know.
For sure.
All right, bro. Um, Before I bring in the next person, Apri has to make a run. So she won't be closing out with us. But any thoughts, Apri, before you tip out of here?
Oh no, I said everything. I've been listening. It's been interesting. It's like conversation as teachers, what we discuss, and Jared mentioned about, or somebody mentioned, I stepped away about kids fighting and they don't get suspended. Yeah, they don't. So this isn't helping them when they get into the real world because they think they have these thoughts. Because I teach high school, they think they can do whatever they want and nothing happens, but it does. And then you have the results that y'all have in the band room or in anything. Like they think that I didn't cuss. Things don't stink. And
I mean, I
so
had the button ready.
but I'm working. This is my professional talk. I don't say cuss words or try not to. So yeah, you gotta hold them accountable, but it's hard now. It's really hard to hold this generation accountable. You want to, but you gotta figure out a way to do so.
Right. Right.
So
All right, sis. We appreciate you, and hey, just so y'all know, this isn't a one-off. She's gonna be on a lot more.
ha.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I appreciate you, sis. And I'll get with you,
All
and
right.
we'll holler at you.
Not the napkins. Y'all
You started it. Hey, we when you say something, we coin it. Don't be surprised if it ends up on a shirt. I'm just gonna tell you right now. It'll be hashtag napkins. Everybody who know exactly what we're talking about. So yeah, you did it.
okay. I
All
take
right.
accountability for that.
There you go. There you go.
I
All
have a
right. While she's headed out, I'm gonna bring one in, and that is our sister Crystal. What's going on?
Hey, family. Can y'all hear me? We
Yeah, we
good?
can hear you just
All
fine.
right. I done had a long day. Um, Me and Lauren be talking about this type stuff all the time because y'all know I've been teaching. I've been teaching almost 2 decades now, and I taught in the worst place on. I mean, like academically, there's a few places that are like notably bad. Baltimore City. I did 15 years. I know I sound like I'm talking about a bid. I did 15 years, hard labor in Baltimore City schools. No, but it wasn't as bad as what a lot of people do. And like now I'm at another school, which a lot of people refuse to go to. And I always have taught in quote unquote the undesirable places. Like I don't know how to teach anywhere else. The reason I do it is because I came from an undesirable place. I came from I'm from Southeast DC, and you know I'm from Southeast because I don't have the TH in my dialect. Southeast DC, Eastover, Southern Avenue. And I wasn't just because I lived there that didn't mean that I needed to be talked like I lived there. And I think sometimes we and we could get caught into a kid's outward personality versus what really is going on inside. And a lot of times what's going on inside is a lot of hurt and a lot of damage. And I just kind of caution us to not quickly go to what we think would be matching energy with those kids. In my 18 years of experience, I've never had to cuss out a kid, like not outright. And I've had some egregious stuff, but at the root of it, a lot of these kids just lack structure, routine, and discipline. Discipline ain't cussing you out. Discipline is holding you accountable and saying what you mean and meaning what you say. So if I say you can't get on that stage if you can't play all my music, my students by now, even in a new school, they know I mean it. And I don't care if they come from District Heights or Southeast DC, they know I mean it. What I feel like sometimes we rely on is that we have to have the same tough exterior that our students give, when really deep down inside, they really cupcake cookies. Like sometimes our kids ain't as hard as they say they are. They really not. Because then I start telling them, I was like, you don't know what it's like for the roaches to parachute off the ceiling into your bed. Like, don't tell me you know tough. You got a phone. If you really, really pulling down and out, you ain't got no phone. But I always relate stuff to me and my husband. Neither one of us came from complete households. Neither one of us came from affluent households, not originally. We didn't come from money. We came from those same places that some of these kids come from. And if we can raise a kid where we don't cuss him out and we don't yell at him a lot, I had to realize what was missing in my life was structure and discipline. And discipline ain't always cussing kids out or even meeting them where they are. Sometimes you have to dig 10 toes down and say, I'm not going to get at you. I had that conversation this week. I said, y'all want me to cuss you out. Like I said it. And they all look like it's a little sad because their eyes got big like, yeah, cuss us out. I said, no, I won't. I'm not going to cuss you out because you're a human being. And I'm going to treat you like the human being I want you to treat me like. And eventually you're going to realize I'm not going to change. So you're going to keep trying to test that level. You're going to keep trying to push that envelope. I'm not cussing you out. And very quickly, kids around the podium want to talk to me after band. I don't care how poor and down and out. I've maybe had about 5 kids that I was just like, they're what I call too seasoned in this. But most of us are not dealing with kids who are too seasoned in it because most of the time they don't really have that they're not as hard as they say they are. They're not as hard to crack as you say they are. I learned from Pratt. Pratt, can we make band handbooks great again? Because a lot of times the breakdown in discipline is because you don't really have strong systems in place. And I'm glad y'all brought up like Stephanie Sanders and stuff. We know that she ain't gonna yell at you first. She gonna have that sweet little kind, loving voice, but she gonna mean exactly what she's saying. And you believe it because you know that consistently they're not gonna change for you. We had band directors who, regardless of whether we liked the music, regardless of whether we wanted to be doing what's popular, they weren't going to change for us. We were going to do that same damn show over and over again. And I know, Luke, they're going to do that same damn show because what they teaching you is you don't run shit and you don't own shit. You're supposed to hit the button. You late.
You didn't warn me that you was about to hit these words either.
I'm sorry, it kind of came real fluent out of my mouth.
You good. Go ahead.
But you don't run nothing. And because we always giving into what they want versus what they need, they beat us up with it. You think this little boy in here, 13 years old, running this house? And I promise you, we not cussing him out and we not beating him. We mean what we say. We're going to take the TV. We're going to take the TV. A lot of times our kids in the classroom, they just need to know that we mean what the hell we saying. I told my kids today, you're not getting on that stage if you don't know this music. You're not embarrassing me or your peers. So try me if you want to. Somebody going to be an example. Contracts. And something's above y'all pay grade. Sometimes we think we can handle stuff that's actually above our pay grade. That young man cussing and fussing in the band room, bet when you done having your little temper tantrum, Thank you for your scholarship. Now first chair got that money. But if you ain't got no contract, if you don't have no standards about what it is that this is what I need from you and this is what I'm going to do for you. And the minute you fall short of that, I'm going to hold you accountable. The end. I don't have no emotions with kids no more. They were like, who's your favorite? I said, I don't like kids. Why? Because I don't want you to think that one person got something of it. And let's be honest, band directors got favorites. They see other people get away with stuff, and then they do the same stuff. They're testing that sometimes the college kids are just like damn middle schoolers. They're testing the waters because they see the inconsistencies in you. I'm not saying that's the case with, that video. Do I think the young man was wrong? Absolutely. Do I think he's wrong for recording? Absolutely. But here's a real easy policy. Put it in your handbook. No phones. Why I got to have my phone? Well, you don't have to have my scholarship. The end.
Yeah, but Krista, I just have to interject. Most of their music is on their phones now, even in a drill.
Why are we doing that?
I'm just saying, it's
systems in place.
Technology.
My kids got times where they can have their phone and there's times they can't. No gray areas. But this is when you can have your phone.
So sis, but here's the thing though. They was doing music rehearsal. So what if they was recording? What if they was reading the music? And the dude
I'm gonna hold you to the educator, and I teach teachers. I be like, don't do something that you can't manage. You can't manage them having phones. The answer is no phones. And we got to go all the way back to old school and drill sheets. And you now, as a director, got to print that joint out. You got to print out the music. That means that you sometimes got to be more prepared than the student. Let's be honest. We have been in rehearsals where a lot of times wasted, and y'all have talked about this before, because the director didn't plan, and now they trying to force feed information down you. No, if you're going to use it, that means you now are held accountable for whether or not they're going to use it right. And if you don't think you can manage it, don't do it. See, I can manage phones in my room. So everybody can't.
So for clarity, you're saying if it was a situation where they was reading the music on the phone and a girl recorded it, and the little boy said, I don't want to play this S, who's wrong in your opinion?
One, policy. No recording in the band room whatsoever. So you recording on your phone and you're not the person who held the offense, I'm coming for you too. And you hold on though, you broke a policy that our ethics policy that says that you, blah, 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 have to be a becoming band member and free from all this. And we don't like to run band like that. Let's be real. We don't like to run band like that because we run band off the cuff. We don't like to run band like we are in our observation. I run band like an administrator at any time gonna come to my room and see me. Like the president of the university will come in and see me. What they're gonna see is a whole lot of damn structure. You can't manage it, you don't use it. And if you have something to say, remember that contract you signed day one before you even put on spats in a uniform? Yeah, I'm gonna go back to that policy. Goodbye. And guess who else agreed with that policy? My principal. Guess who else agreed with that policy? Your parents. You can't even participate without it. And we're going to have to start treating these kids just like it's the court of law. It may hurt. It may be uncomfortable. It may cause additional planning on our end. But let's be real. We need to tighten up too. Just like we want kids to tighten up, sometimes we got to tighten up even more. And I'm saying this as a parent. The minute that my son do something, I'd be like, what system did he not understand? And then that's when Dwight Edgar Williams be like, so your mother said this. Was this the agreed upon thing? Yes. The end. Give me the phone, give me the TV, and the doors on your door might disappear too. We don't even holler and scream at Matthew. Why? Systems in place. We got to stop treating band like it is what we used to know, where we just feared people because they breathe God's air. And guess what? That was for our time. We know this time they don't have accountability. So where does accountability have to start? From us. unwavering, unblinking. I'm not negotiating with terrorism. I call it terrorism. When you start to pick away, and now the students be like, Ms. Williams, I'm being a terrorist, aren't I? Yes, you are. So before you even say that terrorism statement where you're trying to pick away at my system, get yourself together, go over there, put that phone in that slot and charge it while you're over there so your mama can call you and pick you up on time. The end. But that needs to be taught at school, but that's a whole nother conversation. We need to be teaching that in college.
I don't know if that was a mic drop situation, but so and while you were talking, one of the things that I was thinking about as you were talking about, these young people, I started thinking about, how these young kids like to stand on business. Shout out to young King Harris. He stand on business, man. He think he grown, but ain't and think he know about that life that he's never experienced before. But going back, that really ties into exactly what you were talking about. What you about to say, Quan? Because I saw you on mute.
Nah, I mean, so many things I absolutely agree with you, sis. And so what I'll do is, because some of the things I haven't experienced, I do absolutely agree with you in regards to classroom management and that philosophy of, if the president of the university was walking into your band hall, what would they see? That's something for me to take to apply. Like real talk. I get that to you.
Yeah, we get
Touche.
pop-up observations. We don't get planned observations. At any time, they could come in and do an observation in our classroom. So every day in my classroom is observation time. And they're not messing up my bag. Let me tell you that, Quan.
I feel that.
They not messing up my bag. I ain't cussing at you. I'm going to go through all the policies. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a lawyer when it's time to talk to your mama, your aunt, your grandma, whoever signed papers or didn't. I'm going to be like, the policy is. And I have even done it to schools where they kind of want to. Sometimes our schools suck. For real, Quan. Because they put stuff on paper that they don't follow.
Fact.
Oh, man, I become a lawyer with them too. I was like, no, you said this is level 2. This not level 2 right now because you like them, or we playing favoritism? What is it? Is it level 2 or level 3? Be clear with me.
Facts. I don't disagree with that.
This is why I teach teachers, though. That's why my job description is to train teachers. I'll be like, don't you go in there. Go in there like it's court of law. You gonna win.
That's real.
Well, Crystal just dropped a whole book on us just now, as he would normally do. So with that being said, we appreciate your sister, and everything and all that you do, not just in your classroom, but on the network as well. And for every single one of us, because you still, we can learn something new every single day.
Man, I was excited about this topic. I saw this topic. I said, man, this a real topic. Y'all doing the thing. I'm tired though, and I'm gonna eat this chicken box on my table and some fries. So y'all have a good one. I'm gonna be still listening, but I'm hungry.
You ain't gonna be listening for long because we about to shut down. All right.
Bet. All right. Good night, fam.
Night. All right, man. This has been Dr. Crystal. It's coming. It's coming. She need a bit. You said she need a bitty principal? Probably. Malik, I would agree with that. I think every single one of us. But with that being said, man, this has been a super dope episode. This has been great, man. I have really appreciated this discussion. Again, I feel like a discussion that's been needed for a very, very long time, not just in the fact of what has happened at Southern University, but for many, many situations that have been taking place. So with that being said, a couple of things before we get out of here. First things first, if you did not watch my live, I think it was on Monday, what I did say was that I was going to, or what we're going to do, appreciate, and guys, this happened based on a conversation with myself and Quan. We are going to have a viewer's choice episode. Again, put the date up for that yet, but on this Viewer's Choice episode, what's gonna happen is you are gonna be able to ask us any question and challenge any of the things that we have said. All you have to do is I'm going to put a link up, not right now. I'm going to put a link up on this channel. All you got to do is click the link. It'll take you to a place where you got to put your handle, whatever it is, Facebook, YouTube, blah, 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 whatever, Instagram. And then you can also tell us what episode of whatever show it was on the Passionist Network. It could be Talk That Talk. It could be Luke's Band Report. It could be Blow the Whistle. Heck, it can be Diary of a Lady Band Director. Whichever one it is. Also put the timestamp, and then you will be able to come right here on this show, on Talk That Talk, and ask questions about said thing and challenge whatever it is. So we will put that episode out. We will put the information for that episode out right here on the network. So just be ready for that. Also, I am on chapter 27 of Juked. I am not trying to promote this man's book like that because I ain't making no bread off of it. But what I will tell you is that it is a very, very good book. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah, so I'm on 27, Quan. I don't know what chapter you on, but I'm definitely on 27 and learning some new.
I had to put it down, bro. It gets some points. It get too heavy. I had to put it down, bro.
Oh wow, have I gotten to that? I probably haven't gotten to that heavy part yet. Okay.
Yeah, well, we talked about it. I just be like, man, bro.
Yeah.
Because the person that aspires to be there is like, man, you gotta wear the full armor of God.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I have really been invested into this one, and I was told about another book that I was unaware of not too long ago. I think my good brother, my chapter brother, Delin, has a book too, and I didn't even know about it. So Thurman Delin Hollins, he has a book as well. And I need to go and look at that book after I get finished with this book. So with that being said, man, let's get ready to close this thing out, man. Quan, I know that you might just do me a favor. Just stay.
All
right. But with that being said, though, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Protect our bands again. Again, at the end of the day, I'm not saying belittling another student is acceptable. But if we don't protect what's ours, because I thought about this earlier, and I just want to say this in regards about, how we speak to our kids and our own kind. My question is this. At a predominantly white institution, would a white sousaphone player have blurted aloud, "I'm not playing this," as to his director? If yes, then I stand corrected. If not, then we need to reevaluate our reverence and respect for what we quote unquote hold near and dear to us. Because once you start putting the tea out for masses of people to see, the respect level for what we hold near and dear our hearts will begin to diminish by the masses. So when you invite outsiders in your home, don't be mad when they put tracks on your floor. I'll leave it at that.
Yes, I didn't unmute. That was nice. Yeah. And then I took that, protect our bands again. I like that. That may be on a shirt. Just be ready for that.
I'm uncheckable too.
I think I already got that down. I think that was in a text stream that we was going back and forth with. So Portugal with it.
We're gonna get in green and gold. Green and old gold. I'm uncheckable.
All right. Hey, we'll put it in every university color. But anyway, man, with that being said, this has been super great. I actually had something I was gonna say, but I forgot what it was because we started talking about you being uncheckable. But man, again, this episode has been super great, super dope, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Also, please remember when you on your way out, you can click the like button, or if you're watching this on playback, you can click the like button as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the Passionist Network and turn on all your notifications. Also, please make sure that you look for the link that is going to be to the People's Choice episode. Man, that I think that's going to be a super dope episode. That's going to be fun. And I really, really want to see this thing packed out with all the people who have all the comments in the world to have, because again, I read every single comment. With that being said, only thing I'm gonna say about this topic is, man, just keep your phones off in the bedroom. Golly, I mean, I just turn them off. Just turn them off. As a matter of fact, just listening to Crystal saying what she was saying, and I know we all be, all on the new technology inside of the bedroom, people using Beam and everything else. Hey, if you're gonna use that, also supply the iPads that are school and or district owned, so that way you can turn them back in so nobody can record. I'm just saying that could be a possibility too. Whatever. All I'm saying is the accountability needs to be on somebody, and you gonna make the decision of how you do it. But the only thing I need to do is make sure you cover your. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. So with that being said, man, this has been super dope, super great, and we will see you guys on next week.